Launched on October the 18th, 1899, HMS Bulwark was a pre-dreadnought formidable class battleship built for the Royal Navy. With a main armament of four 12-inch guns and with a top speed of 18 knots, she was taken into service in 1902 after a lengthy refit to make her into a London class. Bulwark joined the Mediterranean Fleet base at Gibraltar, taking the place of the battleship Royal Oak, where she served as flagship until the 11th of February 1907. Bulwark then underwent refit in 1909, which were not completed until 1912 due to incidents of running aground twice during sea trials, and then was recommissioned into the 5th Battle Squadron. At the outbreak of World War I, the 5th Battle Squadron was based at Portland as part of the Channel Fleet, and was tasked with carrying out patrols in the English Channel. On the 14th of November, Bulwark and 5th Squadron were transferred to Sheerness to guard against possible German invasion of England, and were moored 4 miles west of Sheerness in the estuary of the River Medway. On the morning of the 26th of November 1914 at 0750 hours, a catastrophic explosion ripped out of the Bulwark, tearing the ship apart. She sank less than 3 minutes later. Of her complement of 750 men, only 14 survived the initial explosion. 2 more of these men would die later of their injuries in hospital. Eyewitnesses from the battleship moored next to the Bulwark, her sister ship HMS Implacable, reported a huge pillar of black smoke belched upwards. From the riverine column, flames appeared running down to the sea level. The appearance of this dreadful phenomenon was followed by a thunderous roar. Then came a series of lesser detonations, and finally one vast explosion that shook the Implacable from mastheads to keel. Another, far more chilling report comes from another sister ship, HMS Formidable. It reads, "When the dust and wreckage had finally settled, a limp object was seen hanging from the wireless aerials upon which it had fallen. With difficulty the object was retrieved and found to be an officer's uniform jacket with 3 gold bands on the sleeve and between them the purple cloth of an engineer officer. The garment's former owner had been blasted into fragments." On the 29th of November 1914, divers sent to find the wreck reported that the ship's port bow as far as aft as the sick bay had been blown off by the explosion and lay 50 feet east of the mooring. The starboard bow lay 30 feet further away, and the remainder of the ship had been torn apart so violently that no other large portions of the wreck could be found. A Navy court inquiry into the cause of the explosion heard accounts from battleships Prince of Wales and Agamemnon, both of whom had stated that smoke issued from the stern of the ship prior to the explosion, and that the first explosion appeared to take place in the aft magazine. The inquiry also established a practice of storing shell for Bulwark's 6-inch guns in connecting passageways from the magazine, storing the shells side by side in the corridors against Navy regulations. HMS Bulwark went down with 738 men, most of whom were never recovered. It remains the second worst disaster by explosion in the British Isles, only being succeeded by that of HMS Vanguard in 1917.